Oh, guys, this game. This game has got to be one of the worst games I've played in a hell of a long time. What can I say that anyone else hasn't already said? I mean, I wasn't even going to release this video, but I realised that if I didn't, people may still buy the game, and I thought that's not going to be right. If they see it on sale, they may go and buy it. So I thought I best finish the video I've started, just so that I can tell people what the problems are. Right, the build-up for this game, I think we all know about, was extreme. They showed videos that were talking about it being the best game, best AI, best lighting you will have seen for a long time. The build-up was extreme. You saw those trailers. I think the one with the Marine flipping off the other Marine. You would have seen that, and that looks good. It looked interesting, it looked good. I mean, where to start with what went wrong with this? Let's start with the AI. Okay, the AI in this game is absolutely atrocious. The aliens are complete retards. They come up to you, they hit you, and what you would expect an alien to do, as soon as he's on top of you, if he hits you once, he's going to keep wailing until you're basically ripped apart. That's what would happen. Instead, in this, it's like they're playing tick, or I think like Americans call it tag. They'll touch you or hit you, and then step back. And it's like, haha, gotcha. What are you going to do now? They step back and look at you. 9 times out of 10, in the videos I'm showing now, there are clips there where I just stop playing. I let them hit me just so I can show that the AI is unbelievably bad. They'll hit you, step back, and then that's it. They'll leave it at that. And then you have to basically shoot them. I mean, they will come back and hit you again, but then they'll stand back again. Hit you, stand back, hit you, stand back. The only way that differs is if they jump on top of you, which you can do a quick time event to get out of. So, absolute craziness. Your teammates are just complete and utter waste of time. In fact, they annoy you. It's not that they're a complete waste of time, they annoy you. And that's great for a single player game where the people who were supposed to be not helping so much, but just not noticeable, are noticeable for how annoying they are. And that's basically what it is. Talking about the AI as well, when Weyland-Yutani become, well, the people who are fighting for Weyland-Yutani come into the game towards the end. Well, I say towards the end, it's actually quite soon into the game. And when the aliens and the Weyland-Yutani soldiers are fighting you, they concentrate on you. An alien could jump down next to the Weyland-Yutani man, and they'll both go, we've got to get that guy over there. Why has it been designed like that? It's like the Weyland-Yutani would see that and go, shit, I've got to fight this alien. Nope, I'm more of a threat apparently. 6-foot bloke standing on the other end of the room. I'm more of a threat than an alien who's standing next to him, and the alien doesn't even see him as a threat either. He just comes after me. It's like you've got a magnet for the enemies rather than them actually using their brains. I don't understand why they've done it like that. Speaking of the Weyland-Yutani as well, aliens, Colonial Marines, aliens, Colonial Marines, aliens, Colonial Marines. I don't want to spend the majority of the time fighting other soldiers. I'm a soldier myself. I'm a Marine. My character's a Marine, apparently. I don't want to spend my time fighting other soldiers. It actually gets to a point where the aliens are just trivial. The AI is terrible, so they just run at you. So if you just point your gun forwards, spray fire, they'll die. So basically, that means that coupled with the Weyland-Yutani being the majority of the enemy as the game progresses, and the terrible AI, the aliens are just trivial mounds of flesh that you shoot. They don't provide any danger at all, and that's not what it's about. Aliens are supposed to be on the edge of your seat. Oh my god, how am I going to survive this particular moment in the game? None of that is in there. Nothing like that. There's no survival part of it at all. There's no how am I going to make it out of this battle. It's just disappointing. Just completely disappointing. The textures in this game are some of the worst I've seen. It reminds me of a game. It was announced, I think, in 2007 that they were going to be doing this. It looks like a game that was designed in 2004, 2005. It's last gen kind of graphics. It's PlayStation 2, it's Xbox, and the cutscenes validate that as well. I mean, I had it. It's a AAA game. My machine would struggle to run new release AAA games on full settings. I had this on full settings, and it was fine. That should say a lot to anyone who's thinking of buying it on PC, particularly. I can't even imagine what it looks like on the Xbox and the PlayStation. It must look terrible, because I mean, it looked terrible on the PC, and I had it on, like I say, full settings and everything. Sorry, this is turning into a long rant. The sound in the game as well, the sound engineering, if you will, and the sound mixing is absolutely dreadful. There are parts where you with one of your marine chums, buddies, whatever, and they're talking to the leader, the boss, whatever, and the boss is being cut, being interrupted by your friend.
Remember what I... Sir,
it's like he preempts it. He stops before he gets interrupted. Now, if you've ever had an argument with someone, when you interrupt them, you don't stop before. If they interrupt you, you'll carry on, and then when you realise they've interrupted you, you'll carry on and then stop. Maybe carry on more and like still try and talk over them. In this, he cuts off, then he interrupts. It's like they've pushed it out the door. They've heard that and gone, "Oh, that'll do. Just forget it. Just push it out the door. Let's just go and give it to him like that. It's fine." It's not finished. It doesn't sound finished. It doesn't sound mixed. It doesn't. There's loads of the textures aren't finished. The sound's not finished. And the main problem with this game as well is the story. I mean, the story is an absolute joke. I mean, it started off bad enough as it was. I mean, started off with Hicks from Aliens. And it just, from there on in, it just got worse and worse and worse, the story did. I mean, it started bad enough as it was, and then it just got stupider and stupider and stupider. Now, this wouldn't be such a problem. I'm not saying every company's got to make good games. This could have been just a bad game that had been released. And I'm not saying that every company should be making good games, because that's just not realistic. The problem is the build-up that Randy Pitchford gave this game and the things he claimed were just complete and utter lies. Now, the story, I've just talked about the story. He claimed that, I think it was Mikey Newman who did the writing. He claimed that, Mikey Newman's writing was that good that it made Aliens 3 make sense. It made it like a better film. I mean, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It doesn't even address anything like that. There's no addressing of plot holes or anything like that. If anything, it creates a massive plot hole at the start, and then it doesn't explain it throughout the game. It just, like, when one of the characters points that out, he's like, "Oh, well, just that's a story for a different time." And it's like, what the hell? That's the laziest form of writing you could ever imagine. There's a character called Bella as well in this, and it just, they claimed it was like a cornerstone of the story to be proud of, and she had no character development. I couldn't care less. It's like trying to get me to care about someone that they hadn't even written into the story. Awful. He also claimed that the AI of the aliens would be extremely high. I don't know how he worded it, but I mean, I've just addressed that. The aliens are complete and utter fools. They act like brainless, like animals, and I know that that's what they are. They're vicious animals, but in the films, when things are like that, when they're stuck, they find ways round. They test different ways to get round to you. They don't just walk into your bullets constantly. They'll find ways round. If that's the case and they can't get round being killed, they'll find a way round. And they just don't do it here. I mean, Randy Pitchford also claimed that the lighting was like next gen lighting. I mean, it's some of the worst lighting I've seen in a game. It's as simple as that. I mean, Gearbox and Randy Pitchford should be ashamed of themselves. Basically, what they've done, they knew they had a good following with customers from Borderlands 1 and 2. Good games. Simple as that. Very good games. What they've done is basically, they've gone and done a smash and grab job on the customers' wallets. That's what they've done. They knew that once the reviews come out of this, it was going to be trashed. They must have done. They couldn't be that stupid. They've made good games. They know that it was going to be trashed. So what they've done a smash and grab on your wallets. Not made you pre-order, but people who've pre-ordered, they've basically wasted their money because the multiplayer will fall down soon, because people will watch reviews such as this or other people's, more famous people like Pro Jared, people like that, and they'll say, what's the point in buying that? So they know that the multiplayer will die. They know that they're not going to release any downloadable content for it. They've done that, they've took the money, and they'll just wipe their hands clean of it. That's it, they're done. Unbelievable. I mean, let's face it, they've took Sega's money and used it for Borderlands 2. So not only did they rip you off, the fans, they ripped Sega off. I mean, congrats, Gearbox. You've made me feel sorry for Sega. The world must be ending. I mean, they should sue them for the junk that they got offered here. I mean, let's face it, Gearbox didn't do this, did they? I mean, they passed most of the work on to other companies, such as Timegate. I guess I should give you a score for this game. It's a 2 out of 10, and the reason it's not a 1, and it should be a 1, the reason it's not a 1 is because it's not broken. You can move about, you can shoot, you can jump, you can run. It works. It's just that everything else is a complete joke. Story, textures, AI, sound, gameplay. It's just a generic shooter with absolutely no inspiration at all. I'm disappointed because of how much I love Aliens. I'm disappointed because of how much I like Gearbox. This has got to be a black mark against the name, and if it's not, it really should be. Guys, as well, I've never been on board with the whole don't pre-order things, but try and listen to people like Total Biscuit. They're telling you to do that to save your money, to stop this happening again, to stop companies being half-arsing games like this and just releasing it and then washing the hands clean of the whole affair and just walking away with a whole stack of money. And that's what's basically happened here. They've offered you nothing and they've took your money and they're laughing. It's as simple as that, and it shouldn't be allowed to happen. Don't pre-order, wait for the reviews to come out. People get the games now before they're released. Wait for the reviews and then see what it says. You're going to be missing out a couple of days. Anyway, yeah, 2 out of 10. Stay away from this one. I'll see you next time, guys.
I just prefer the other.
Bullshit! How can it be bullshit to state a preference?